Hello, my friends. Happy Sunday to you all. How are you doing today? Well, today is a little bit of a tell-all session, and I want to share some. Actually, first of all, I want to share some thanks. And for those of you that have followed me for a while, and for those that are new to following me, I'm so grateful and so um, appreciative of your support and of the likes and the comments and stuff. It's heartwarming. What I want to do today, though, is I want to get real. I want to strip off what is going on behind this face that you see every day when I do these mantras and when I do my Mindful Mondays and when I do my Fearless Fridays. Because the truth of the matter is, my friends, I feel a little hypocritical right now in what I'm doing. And I want to share with you why I say that in hopes that it might make me seem a little more real and make you feel a little more at ease that everything that you see in this fabulous world of social media is not always as it seems. Um, so I am Jen. I call myself the purple and gray haired Nana because I have purple and gray hair, and I'm a Nana of two beautiful granddaughters. And what I do on here, I'm not even really sure how to describe what I'm doing because I'm just muddling my way through, but trying to share some light. I'm trying to share some positivity into this crazy world that we all live in. And as I do that, I am sort of figuring life out for myself too. And what I want to share with you is that when I come on here and when I do these videos, and when you see my mantras and when you see me talking about stuff, um, a lot of times it's because I need to hear those words myself. Um, and I'm going to do my best to not break into tears on this, but those of you that know me know that crying is something I do, and I'm no longer afraid of saying that. What I want to share is the dark and dirty stuff of my life that has brought me to this point in my journey of 50 years on this planet Earth. Um, it hasn't really been a crazy hard, I guess, from some people's point of view, life, but that's something I want to touch on at the end of this. Please stick around because at the end of this, I have 6 lessons learned from my journey so far that I think will be super beneficial to any of you that may be struggling along your journey as well. For those of you that are watching social media, you follow these people and their lives are fabulous. They drive these nice cars, they live in these nice houses, they eat these fabulous meals, they dress in these wonderful clothes. It's hard to feel good about ourselves sometimes when we see all that and we think, why can't I have that? And I sometimes think that a lot of people might think that my life is all roses and I haven't been through any heartaches in my life. And that is the farthest thing from the truth. Um, I'm not here for sympathy. I'm not here for pity. I'm not here to say, oh, poor me. I'm not here to compare, but I want to be real. Um, I've been married. I've been divorced. I've had a track record of failed relationships. Failure is something actually that I talk about a lot on my Fridays. My Friday talks about living fearlessly. And um, I used to look at my life from a place of failure, and I would always comment on the things I failed. I've had a failed marriage. I've had failed relationships within my family. I've lost touch of family members for many, many years, and I don't really remember why. So I felt like a failure that I couldn't keep those relationships together. I felt like a failure because I lost my second born child. I was unfit to be a mother for this child. I was a failure. And again, please bear in mind, these are thoughts that I've had through my journey. I do not feel myself as a failure now. And when I do fail, I'm proud of it because at least when I attempt something and we fail, we have opportunities to learn. So, as odd as that may sound, that yes, I have lost a child, and I didn't fail as a mother. I was a mother, and I am a mother to 3 amazing living children and one angel child who I've come to realize over the years is constantly with me. Um, And she had a purpose greater than anything I could understand at the time, this child I lost. But when you get in a victim mindset and you look at your failures and you judge yourself by your failures, it's really hard to stay positive and to be okay in life. And unfortunately, society likes to fill our heads with negativity. Society likes to compare, and society likes to beat us down for some reason. We don't need any help with that. We need help with the light. We need help with lifting ourselves up. Um, I could look at myself and say I've been a failure because my marriage ended in a divorce. I could look at myself, I did look at myself and say I'm a failure because I was forced out of a career much earlier than I wanted to and was told I was unfit to do any sort of job because of my mental health issues. So then, of course, I felt like I was a failure again. I can't even do the job. How can I be anything but a failure when I can't work? And I know a lot of people on my journey have been like that, where they've been forced out of a job. I was forced out of the military, a job I was very proud of. It was an honor to serve. It was an honor to wear the uniform. It was an honor to be in that position, and then to be told that you can no longer do it because what I told myself at the time, because I was a head case. That's a lot to deal with at the age of barely 40, when I'm still raising kids and I'm still trying to get over a divorce and I'm still trying to get over an affair that I had. I had an affair. So I definitely failed at being a loving wife, I guess, and a mother. And, um, the list kind of goes on and on. And I'm sure everybody out there that's listening that takes the time, and I want to thank you for that. You can look back at things in your life that maybe you failed at and that you were perhaps a little bit too hard on yourself about those failures. And that's why I do this. That's why I share my stuff, not because I want pity, not because I want sympathy, not because it's, oh, poor me, but because I know there's other people out there that are struggling with many things that I've just talked about. And the most recent situation I found myself in is another failed relationship. And with this relationship, it turned out I was on the other side of the affair this time. My partner had an affair. And I do want to put a disclaimer out right now before I go any further. For those of you that know me, for those of you that don't know me, for those of you that may realize what I'm talking about, I am not here to shame or to bash or to judge my ex partner. I don't. I wish him all of the best. I wish him all of the love in the world. Um, and I hope he finds some peace, because um, I truly believe that anybody that enters into an affair, and I feel that I'm okay to talk about this because I've been on both sides of it, there's something not right within us. There is something that we are struggling with, and we're reaching out. Um, and there's all kinds of things that can contribute to a marriage or a relationship falling apart. And there's many people that have affairs within the relationship and they get through it. And not going to lie, I thought we were going to be that couple. I really did. And it looks like we're not right now, because we're not together. And it's been April. It's been almost 2 months to the day since um, since the relationship blew up. I want to say I walk away. I don't even really know, in all honesty, what happened, but it blew up and I left. Um, so it's only been 2 months. So what I want to share with you folks is that for the last 2 months, when you see me on here doing these videos, and when you see me doing these mantras, and when you see me talking, it is probably it's in the top percentage of the hardest things I've done. And I feel sometimes like I'm just feeding you all a bunch of BS, because um, the words I'm telling you, I am not proud to say. Um, but I think when you come onto social media and you put yourself out there as somebody that people look to and listen to, it's really important to be real and honest. And my friends, I haven't been that person for the last 2 months. I haven't been that person who lives from a place of love and trust. There's been some times where I've been nothing more than a pure, I'll keep it clean, nasty human being who has not lived from kindness, who has not lived from a place of compassion. I've been hurt. And a lot of times when people are hurt, they will hurt other people. And that is not okay. So, why I am coming on here to share this with you and why I really feel it's important is because not everything is as it appears. And although I can sit here and I can tell you, and I can promote a book an ebook that I wrote last year on divorcing with grace and compassion, and I'll put a link to it somewhere. I have it handy now because finally last week, after my latest and um, I dare say my last big nasty episode involving my past partner, um, it it hit home to me, and it really hurt in my heart that what good is it doing by me being a-hole-ish, by me being unkind, by me being downright nasty? What good does that do anybody in the world, especially myself? Because I feel like crap. Because two wrongs don't make a right. Um, and I don't want to be that person that is dimming somebody's light. I want to be that person that is helping give some light to somebody that may be in darkness, regardless of what they've done. Um, a lot of times people get hurt, and it's not that we intend to hurt these people. My ex-partner didn't intend to hurt me. I know that. Things happened, and this happened. Here we are. It's not going to dim my light anymore. And I'm not going to dim others' lights anymore. And I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to keep being real. And I'm going to keep doing my stuff, and I'm going to keep coming on here and reminding you guys that just because you think something is fabulous, just because you think somebody has all their crap together, we often don't. So that should be even more reason for us to treat ourselves with kindness and compassion and love and trust ourselves, but also to extend the same into the universe. Because, my friends, everybody is going through some kind of a struggle. We don't need to know what those struggles are. It's not our concern. And that's not for us to know. It's not for us to compare. Oh, well, that's just a minor thing they're going through, so it doesn't matter if I hurt them. No, there's a sliding scale, I guess, on how our emotions go, but kindness is kindness and nastiness is nastiness. Plain and simple. So if you can practice living from a place of love and trust, like I am trying to do, and encouraging everybody else to do, that's where the changes come in. So I had mentioned earlier, I want to talk about 5 things that, actually 6 things that I've learned on my journey because of obstacles placed in my way. And these 6 points have really helped me switch from having a victim mentality, like, oh, why did my baby get taken from me? Oh, poor me. Why did I choose to have the affair? Why did I choose to put my children through a nasty time of a nasty affair, a nasty divorce? Oh, poor me. Oh, poor, no. Why did I, anything with that victim mentality? If we switch our mindset and we put into a thing of gratitude, okay, you know what? I don't like those things that happened. Can I look back now and see how I could have done it differently? What can I do better? How can I live my life so that I know I've done everything I can in my power to not dim somebody else's light? And friends, if we all adapted a little bit more of a mindset like that of how do I share light in this world and not either on purpose or inadvertently cause somebody else's light to dim because I've said some nasty things. So the 6 things, I've just opened up my list here because I know I'm going to get sidetracked again. So not everything is as it may appear to us. Okay, because a lot of times we only see what people want us to see. We don't see the behind the scenes. We don't we don't live their journey. And even if we did go through the same, because there's others that have lost children, there's others that have lost friends to suicide. There are others that have lost family members due to domestic abuse, violence against females. There are others that have gone through affairs. There are others that have gone through other sorts of betrayals. There's others that have had rifts in your family. So we don't know what anybody else is going through, nor is it up to us to know, because we are on our journey and they are on theirs. Okay, our experiences from the past, our upbringing, our genes, the way our parents were raised, all of these things affect how we are going to interpret things in our journey. Okay, so no matter what situations you're going through, it's going to be different for everybody. But if we all try to live from a place of kindness and trying to be a light instead of dimming somebody else's light, that is how we can really connect with our true purpose, our true soul inside of who we are. Because everybody is put here on this earth with a unique journey, with unique traits, with unique obstacles that are coming to them. And the second point is, not everything that enters into our life is going to last forever. And that is okay. I think a lot of us get into our ego thinking, and I'm going to talk about this a little more, so I won't say too much about the ego right now, but we, even as children, right, we don't want to share our toys. We don't want to give this, little toy to little Sally because I know they'll only have 4 toys. We get attached to materialistic things. We get attached to people to help us or to make us feel happy. Whereas that's really messed up, because any of those things at any point in time, whether it's materialistic or it's a human, any of these things can be taken from us at any point in time. And if we have based our happiness on having these things in our life and we don't learn to appreciate happiness simply because we are here and because we are gifted this life, that is where true happiness comes from. That's living from the soul. So when you learn to practice this, and for many of us, we haven't learned to practice what actually makes our soul happy, as opposed to what our ego, our mind thinks is happiness, there's a disconnect there. And that's where a lot of people struggle. So that's the second point I've learned on this journey, is that living from our mind and not from our heart and our soul can set us up for some disappointment and some heartaches. The third thing I want to touch on is failure. Like I've mentioned before, failure is such a powerful experience thing that far too often so many of us view with a negative mindset. We get hard on our kids when they fail a test. We get hard on our kids when they don't excel at sports. We get hard on ourselves when we've list off any of the things you've done in your life that you called yourself a failure. We get too hard on ourselves. But my friends, look at it from the other side, perhaps. If you're not afraid to fail, you're going to try new things. When you try new things, you're going to feel it in your soul. Oh, hey, you know what? That felt really nice. Even though I didn't succeed and I did fail at my first attempt, I'm going to try it again. And I'm going to learn from what happened when I tried it the first time and failed. So, and again, this kind of comes back to the ego mind, because we don't want to fail because somebody's going to laugh. I don't want to try this dance. I don't want to do this because somebody's there, they're going to laugh at me. Who cares if they laugh at you? Let them laugh. Laugh at yourself, right? Because if we don't step out of that ego, that mindset that somebody's going to laugh at me or I can't do it, you're never going to try new things. You're never going to learn. So it's really important, what I found, is to be gentle when it comes to failure, especially with the kids and with yourself. Okay, don't beat yourself up over failures. It's a new opportunity to try again. All right. That was a big thing for me, because I was always scared of failing. And now I don't give a crap. I'm happy to fail at things because at least I've tried. And what I don't do is I don't let myself get too worked up over it. I obviously, yes, you're going to be upset because it didn't turn out quite as you wanted, but then take that and grow from it, um, grow and learn from your soul, not from a place of ego where you're worried that somebody's going to laugh or it's not going to happen, or, you can't do this. My friends, you can do a lot of stuff if you tell yourself you can. The fourth point I want to talk on is, I've mentioned it before too, is living from a place of love and trust. Okay. It sounds easier, I think, than it does. And a lot of us have not been brought up with that idea that we need to just live from love and treat each other with kindness, treat ourselves with kindness, and just trust that whatever obstacles come along our path in this journey, we are going to be okay. It might hurt, it might be tough, but if we just breathe and learn to pause, that's leading into number 5. We can get through anything that we faced. Okay, we've been through so much. If you take a moment and you look back at all the things you've overcome, sometimes we get tired because a lot of us have been through a lot, but we haven't been through a lot in a negative way. We've been through a lot because we've had a lot of obstacles and opportunities come to us to help ourselves grow. So when we treat ourselves with kindness, when we treat ourselves with love, and when we can trust, we feel better about ourselves, because I don't think anybody feels good when we know that we've caused harm or we've caused hurt to somebody else. So if you practice living from love and trust, that's not going to happen. All right. And then number 5 is my favorite one. It is slowing down and pausing. Slowing down and pausing. Just taking time to breathe. Taking time when you feel overwhelmed to just stop for a minute. Stop thinking. Stop living from the ego mind and thinking you have to come up with these answers. The answers are going to come to you when you can learn to pause. Hey, Charlie. I don't know who else is on here. I've just got one thing, but I just seen Charlie popped on. Hello, my beautiful. So slowing down, when we learn to pause, it allows us to gain a better understanding of what we are really feeling throughout the day. Because so often we are just going from task to task to task. I got to get to work. I got to drop the kids off. I got to do this. I got to get to lunch. I have a meeting here. Have to pick the kids up. Have to get supper. Have to get to soccer practice. Have to whatever. Where in the heck is time to just breathe for a moment? There's no time there. So take 30 seconds. Start with 30 seconds and just breathe. Just pause and say, okay, I'm leaving this task and I'm going to this one. Or I'm feeling overwhelmed. Let me just breathe. Let me have some clarity come to me when I'm pausing. So my friends, this pause, I've done a video just the other day on there's so many things that happen in that pause. So practice the pause. It will bring you peace. It will bring you strength. It will bring you clarity. It will bring you love. It will bring you compassion. It will bring this all to you, but it will help you see the world with all of those filters as well, with the filter of peace, with the strength to handle whatever is coming your way. And then the last thing I want to touch on is, again, the ego-driven actions or soul-driven actions. And again, the ego-driven actions are when we are thinking that we have to know the answer. I have to come up with this answer. I have to be concerned about what somebody is thinking about me. I have to be the best at what I can be because, I don't know who's watching me, but I want somebody to see that I'm the best. And a lot of times it's really subtle, but when we are living from ego-driven actions, we make life a lot harder for ourselves. If you go back to point 5 where I said we're trying to get all this stuff done in the span of a day, are you enjoying any of that? Are you getting any peace in your soul from all of this chaos that you're doing? So that's the difference from living from an ego-driven mindset or life to a soul-guided. And when I say soul-guided, our soul is who we truly are. It's what our heart feels. It's what makes us happy. It's what makes us not feel so good. Like for myself last week when I had my crazy episode and I was anything but kind to a person who I don't want to be unkind to. I don't want to be unkind to anybody. and it really hit me last week, and I want this to sink in, is that how do you feel after you've made somebody hurt, after you've said unkind words, after you've been nasty? If you really sit and pause and feel about it, you're probably not going to feel that good. That's our soul telling us that we are not being in alignment with who we are supposed to be. We are not being in alignment with what our soul was put on this earth to do. So when we can practice this, practice listening to our soul, practice the pauses, practice understanding that happiness comes from within, not from outside forces, and that egos fear, because fear comes from a place of ego. A lot of times because we are scared, we're uncertain, we're not trusting, somebody's going to laugh at us, I'm going to fail. It's okay, go fail. Go fail. Go try something and fail. Okay? And then let yourself be sad for a second and say, okay, tried it once. What do I need to do next time to make it happen? If you look at some of the greatest people in the span of this earth, they didn't get there by doing it right the first time. They got there by not giving up. Okay, so my friends, I did talk a lot today, but I really felt that it was important to come out here and just keep it real, because that's what I'm doing, is being real and sharing the message that life isn't always easy, but when we can learn to trust in ourselves, love ourselves, life can become a lot easier and we can have a lot more peace in our life. So I have a podcast on Spotify. This isn't probably going to make it onto Spotify, but I'm also on YouTube. And my intent of doing these YouTubes and these podcasts was to eventually get to the place where this could be a platform for others to share their stories of how they overcame their own darkness, whatever that darkness was, in an attempt to help others that maybe have lost their light and are stuck in the darkness. And when we can share these stories of how we've overcome things, it gives others strength. It lets people know that they're not alone and that life isn't really as rainbows and butterflies as it seems like on social media. So if you have a story that you'd like to share, reach out to me. Let's chat and maybe see if we want to bring you on to do a podcast interview, or if you want to do it anonymously or something. But I truly feel in my heart of hearts that everybody's going through a story. And on the other side of that, there's somebody out there in this universe that is waiting to hear your story in your words, in your voice, to help get them through. So I don't want people stuck in darkness any longer than they have to be. And if my voice will help somebody find the light for one day to keep going, then that makes my soul feel at peace. And that makes me feel like I'm living a little more in alignment than I have been for the last 49 years. So if you also, on the other side of that, if you are interested in chatting with me one-on-one, because maybe you're stuck and you want a little bit of guidance because what I've said has resonated with you, feel free to reach out and let's talk about some coaching options and see if we're a good fit and see if we can get you looking at a little more light than darkness. So my friends, this was just a little keep it real. Everything isn't as it seemed. I don't want to be hypocritical. So I'm going to come on here from time to time and just let you know, kind of, even though I do these videos, sometimes life sucks and it is hard. And by sharing stories, we can make it a little less hard and we can make it a little more caring and compassionate. So friends, until next time, sending you much peace, love, and kindness from me, Jen, Purple and Gray Haired Nana. Love to you all, my friends.